topic is challenges before media in national perspective. And Alka, I will start with you. The newest one is the criteria right now. Uh, when we look at the scenario today, when the issue of freedom of speech and expression comes, journalists were never divided on an issue like press freedom the way they are today. There are some who feel that it is absolutely not threatened, and the other camp feels that it is totally threatened. In which camp do you belong to?
I don't belong to any camp. Actually, Pramod asked very perfect question, and we were discussing, like Sahil and we were discussing over the breakfast, same issue. If you oppose, if you criticize, or if you question any decision taken by current government, which is BJP led, immediate the camp of the buck starts accusing you that you belongs to Deshadrohi camp, you are not a Deshbhakta, and so whatever claims you are making that you are not getting freedom of press is baseless accusation coming from your Congress aligned. Now I am not Congress person. I am criticizing BJP decision taken by BJP government, or decision taken by Devendra Fadnavis, or I am putting question marks over the decision. That doesn't make me Congress camp or any. But the political situation, the polarization in the society has become, I don't know, we are divided so much, and it is not healthy for our society. That is what I can understand. Not only on freedom of expression, but on every issue, whatever you report. I support development. I am not against capitalization. I am not against commercialization. We should become more and more rich. We should not live like poor and in pathetic condition, claiming that this is India, this is India. No, we want to be developed. We want to become rich. We want to become great citizens. But to become developed country, we should look at who are marginalized, who are left over from this development process. If you choose any of that topic, again you become like Deshadrohi. So not only freedom of press, this entire layer of nationalism put on every topic, from tax paying to demonetization to freedom of press. I think we are leading towards unhealthy society.
So it's a very interesting point. The point is, an issue like press freedom, there cannot be two divisions within journalistic community debating it, that whether it is there or it is not there. But we see that divide today. Why we are seeing it? Prabhu sir made a nice point. He said most of us differ on why, and because we differ on why, there are divisions among us today. I am not going to the division of the old school and the new school, but I am definitely going to the division of taking a stand and rallying behind a particular issue, and then you are getting judged by it by the rest of the community. How would you do?
First of all, it was very nice to hear Prabhuji after very nearly 4-5 years we are meeting, and as expected he made the speech. I was expecting that he will speak something like this. And first of all, let me clarify that Prabhuji is no less a celebrity in team. He himself was anchoring a very popular television show on Aaj Tak, so I know him since then. But yes, there is definitely a division within the media. और उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण, the basic reason behind that is that suddenly after 2014, what I'm seeing is that it was not for the first time that the BJP government has come to power. Even from 1999 to 2004, the Vajpayee was the Prime Minister and the NDA government was in power, the BJP was in power even then. Now what is happening more, what I can see is that the journalists are more identifying themselves with a particular ideology. It was not something like, Prabhuji openly said that he was a worker of ABVP, he used to be part of ABVP, and despite that it never occurred to us that he's taking side of a particular political party. But suddenly after 2014, I have seen many people who are directly taking sides, and the narrative of this nationalism has has taken a front seat, and because of that, a lot of journalists are facing this particular problem what Alka was mentioning. So for an example, I'll just give you a brief example of that particular day when we were doing live on demonetization. As everyone says that it's basic right of a journalist to ask questions. Even if you are doing a vox pop, if you are asking a question even to a political leader, the basics of journalism says that you have to ask question. If you think that there is something wrong, you have to counter it with a question. Now it is monitored so much that you ask anything against that. I mean, you question the move, you are trolled on Twitter, immediately on the social media, you see that people start trolling you, start calling you by names, they start saying that okay, this particular guy is a biased person, अपनी एक अलग आइडेंटिटी लेके वो अपनी बात रखने की कोशिश कर रहा है, ये तुरंत शुरू हो जाता है. एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज द बेसिक प्रॉब्लम विच इज हैपनिंग एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, विच वी नेवर फियर्ड अर्लियर. वी नेवर थॉट दैट हमारी आइडियोलॉजी कुछ भी हो उसके वजह से इट विल अफेक्ट आवर way of presenting a story, or we will be questioned for that particular thing. In fact, I would definitely like to say that even the BJP leaders earlier, it never happened that even if you oppose their move, it never happened that they have stopped you from meeting them, talking to them. Right now what we are seeing is that कि अगर आप किसी को challenge करते हैं, it's not only BJP, it's everywhere. आप किसी को challenge करके आप किसी पर सवाल उठाते हैं तो हो सकता है कि आपका access उसके पास खत्म हो जाएगा पूरी तरीके से. And that is also one of the important challenge, as he rightly put up, कि आजकल कोई सवाल नहीं पूछते हैं और जो सवाल पूछने की कोशिश करते हैं उनको किस तरीके से ट्रोल किया जाता है ये आजकल सब लोग देख रहे हैं. एंड दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ समथिंग रियली, आई मीन, ये सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. मुझे याद है कि कुछ दिन पहले प्रभु जी ट्वीट पे किसी को बता रहे थे कि द बेसिक थिंग इज़ दैट यू, जो 2000 रुपये के नोट में चिप की बात हो रही थी, one of the top editor of a television channel did a whole program on that particular story. I mean, it was non-existent completely. The senior journalists are tweeting about it. No one even tried to ask, no one even did the basic things of taking a 2000 rupees note and see if there is any chip in the note or not. They just carried away with whatever was happening on the social media. And when you challenge that, फिर आपको बोला गया कि आप देशद्रोही है, आप एंटी मोदी है, आप एंटी गवर्नमेंट है. ये नैरेटिव पूरी तरीके से गलत है. मुझे पता नहीं कि मोदी खुद इसको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, या बीजेपी में कितने लीडर्स इसको ओपनली सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन ये हो रहा है, ये बात तो हम लोग डेफिनेटली कह सकते हैं.
Sir, there is an interesting angle.
I
want to add something.
I missed the point. What Pramod is asking again and again about freedom of press, and as rightly mentioned by Prabhu sir and Sahil, what is happening that the why is been questioned. If I ask freedom of expression that I want to write, I mean I am not denied right now, but if anybody is asking that particular question, the other camp will raise question, why do you want to write first place? You know, there the freedom of expression has been challenged at very basic level. Forget about Salman Rushdie and you know the other kind of freedom of expression issue we have dealt with earlier. अभी तो बेसिक लेवल पे वी आर स्ट्रगलिंग. क्यों लिखना है भाई आपको, मोदी जी इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं, ये फडणवीस अच्छा कर रहा है, कोई भी मतलब एंटी एस्टेब्लिशमेंट लिखना ही क्यों है? अभी ये सवाल का जवाब, दैट इज अवर जॉब टू डू. 100 में एक के साथ भी अगर अन्याय होता है तो दैट इज अवर जॉब टू रेज द क्वेश्चन, बट दैट इज बीन चैलेंज.
So the point is very simple. The point is when your line of questioning is contrary to the public notion of patriotism or nationalism, you are branded as somebody who is not doing a fair journalism. That is the era we are living into. You agree with this, and how to deal with this?
You are raising another question. The question of freedom of expression as a fundamental right is there. But we are discussing this whole freedom of expression in the context of media. Media, freedom of expression, what? News is the expression of views, or news is the expression of news? Because if I am writing a news which has no opinion, there my freedom is not violated at all. But when I am writing an editorial and writing my byline article in which I draw certain conclusions on my way of looking at the facts, if that is cut, that is dangerous. But the point these are both the young journalists are making is that they are afraid of being branded. I told you I was being branded by most of the Congress people. That
We are already branded.
So we are already branded.
They have
It's
no
not being
choice.
afraid of being
They have branded us as anti-nationalists.
So when at that time I was branded as an RSS person and whatever, but that never bothered me for writing what I thought was good. And at that point in time, for example, for 5 years Rajiv Gandhi was there as Prime Minister. He made it sure that I don't meet him. I didn't meet him. I kept on writing my story, whatever I thought, some pro, some anti. Ultimately, the last interview he gave as Prime Minister, it was to me only. So you have to establish your credibility as a journalist first rather than an opinion maker. What is happening now, journalists are being branded as opinion maker. If Arnab Goswami is to be, interview has to be given, you know what he is. If Rajiv Sardai has to be spoken, then everybody knows what he is going to ask. That is the danger happening to. That is the curbing the freedom of expression. Rajdeep has a freedom of expression, full freedom of expression. But when the person who is going to give him an interview, he should not give this impression that he is going to lead me into a particular line of thinking. My principle in CD Baat was very clear. I would never prepare written questions. I would get the questions out of the answers which the person gives. So let us be very clear. Freedom of expression of media is curbed if it is not allowed to write the views. When I said in the beginning that media is becoming more viewsy, therefore it is concerned about freedom of expression.
So the question is, we young journalists are becoming too bothered about what somebody else is saying about us.
You should not bother at all.
Don't be bothered.
No, I just have one thing to add to this. I mean, I am not even talking about the editors in the television media or say even the print media. Like Arnab Goswami is interviewing someone, so everyone knows that okay, the line of questioning will be like this. I'm just asking about a basic press conference where there is no line of questioning. It's either why, what, the questions we normally ask to any political leader. Even during that, if you are branded, even in a normal press conference, then that is definitely worrisome. I mean, you really have to think about it, why this is happening. I understand in a particular political interview, I mean, the political leader has a choice. I mean, they think that, okay, Rajdeep is going to ask me certain questions, so I will not be talking to that person. As he said that Rajiv Gandhi did not give him an access because he thought that Mr. Chawla is a RSS man. Similarly, one can think about Rajdeep or one can think about Arnab the same way. But I am talking about general normal press conference. If you are going for a press conference, like the day I was watching a press conference of Arun Jaitley after demonetization, and the question was asked by one of the television reporter. I will definitely not name them, surely not from my channel, but I can surely not name them. That the question started with that the demonetization move has been widely praised by people, and then the reporter asked the question. I mean, why should a question start with such kind of a line, and why are you already आप अपनी भूमिका बांध के सवाल क्यों पूछ रहे हो? दैट इज द क्वेश्चन. बिकॉज अगर आप अलग तरीके से पूछते तो हो सकता है कि सामने से आपको रिबटल आ जाएगा कि अच्छा आप उस तरीके के सवाल पूछने वाले हैं, या आपकी भूमिका ही इसमें अलग है, आपकी भूमिका पर ही सवाल उठाया जाता है. और ये आज से नहीं हो रहा है, टू टेल यू द फैक्ट. और ये बहुत सारे सीनियर लीडर्स को ये आदत रही है, और आज से नहीं पहले से रही है, लेकिन आजकल ये चीज़ बहुत ज़्यादा बड़े पैमाने पर हो रही है. दैट इज़ व्हाट इज़ द प्रॉब्लम, व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. पहले भी हम लोग प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जाके आड़े टेढ़े सवाल पूछते थे, कभी हमको ब्रांड नहीं किया गया. ये हो सकता है कि हम लोग उनके फेवर में है कि नहीं है, इतना समझ में आता होगा, लेकिन वी वर नेवर ब्रांडेड. बट अभी वाइडली हर छोटा बड़ा हर जर्नलिस्ट ब्रांड हो रहा है. ये कहीं ना कहीं प्रॉब्लम है. दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक हैज़ टू बी क्वेश्चन, और उसको लेकर मेरे ख्याल से सवाल डेफिनेटली है.
I was completing that sentence. The question is worried because as a young journalist, I was also at his age when I joined journalism. I was 31-year-old. Why should I bother? As I told you, that I was branded as RSS, ABVP, I left ABVP in 76. After that, I never looked back. Emergency, I belonged to a poor family, I couldn't afford to go to jail. Like Jaitley went as an accidental retinue, he was arrested. He was a little fat, he couldn't run away, I ran away. So that is a different issue, I could not be arrested. He is a minister, I am a journalist. Question is, why should I be bothered? If I am not, for example, 4 years, Rajiv Gandhi did not give me an interview. Ultimately, he gave me the interview, even if I was RSS. Modi, who thinks that I am RSS, I know him for 40 years, we were together in the student politics. When he started giving interviews before becoming the Prime Minister, he gave 49 interviews. Prabhu Chawla was the only exception he refused to give. Though I was RSS. Even now when he meets people, I am the rare person who meets him. He meets me individually. My friendship is still with there. I call him, he calls me back. But when he treats me as a journalist, I am outcast. I am not a dependable journalist, even if I know him well. I am an RSS person. Everybody else is there. All the BJP leaders love Rajdeep, Barkhadar in their dinners and whatever. I am not. So it doesn't bother me. I am what I am. I am not because of them. The problem is that journalists now want to be seen with the minister, with the Prime Minister.
I agree with him, but I 50% differ what is the way he
No,
is.
the point
saying.
is why are you bothered? The point is why are we so concerned about our own image among our readers or viewers rather than plainly reporting facts?
Yes.
That's
I
the
tell you why bothered, because the owners don't like it.
Okay, we'll go to that aspect later.
No, so
They won't say it, I can say it.
see, I understand what you are trying to say. The image thing. It's I'm not fallen in that trap of image. I was working with a prominent channel in Maharashtra, IBN Lokmat for 7 years. Before that I was in print media, and now I am working with a city tabloid with Times Group. So the question is not of image. The question is of doing proper reporting. If your access is denied, see, Prabhu sir, you are saying that you have to report a news without bias. But if Fadnavis government has taken a decision to name the Oshivra station as Ram Mandir, and if I am writing, I am putting a question mark in my news on that story, automatically I become anti-BJP, anti-Fadnavis. Automatically people will say that I am putting my views, but I am putting in factually views are needed in that story. Same thing, Fadnavis government is trying to take all the senior citizens on pilgrimage with government fund. Here senior citizens are struggling to get good public health system, and you are taking them for pilgrimage on public money. What kind of system or what kind of schemes you are under the name of Sanskriti and tradition? We don't want. We want good, better health system. We want better facilities for senior citizens, and this is the right of civilized citizens. So I am writing again about it. Then Prabhu sir will think I am putting my views in the news. I mean, how will you see news which are reported, which have influence of views in the news? How can you avoid all those things?
And sir, don't you think that it's been always there? I somewhat agree with
No,
it. This was not something that it was purely news.
I am very conservative journalist. I differ with what she is saying. Because if I was a reader and if she had written the story in Mirror which she wrote, I would have asked her, why are you connecting the two? It's a democratically elected government which has been elected by the voters. People have voted for them. They have the right to frame policies and everything. Pilgrimage is also one of their responsibility. They are doing it. Do it story. Then do a second story, but they have spent this much on there. But what is the state of health? Do disconnect. Don't connect because this is better. He thinks that is better. Who are you to decide what is better?
No, but you can always challenge the
public
motive.
money
You
is
can
public,
always challenge the
sir.
motive.
That's the difference between journalism and reporting.
No, sir.
You are
public
becoming-
money, you
This
should
is-
have
let me-
priorities, no?
this is what is happening.
You are dying on the
Bete-
street, but no, we are giving you Bhagwan. Let's pray to the Bhagwan. You need a health system, but no, you are giving God. Why?
This is a classic example of
I mean,
views
okay.
first, news
No,
next.
people, you decide what you want. You want God. If you are ill, you want God or you want
No,
hospital.
having all the journalists on the panel
No.
is a great advantage to the moderator.
They
I
are-
don't have to do a lot of work here, so I'm very happy.
No,
I'm the happiest
No,
person
no,
on this panel.
let's take poll from,
No, I will do that.
poll from
No,
people. No?
let us put
if
all the-
I am dying,
no, correct.
I would like to go
Okay,
to
let us
hospital
put all the points in
rather
proper,
than pilgrimage.
Okay, let us put all the points in proper perspective and then we'll take all the
Pramod,
polls.
I will tell you one thing. This is a classic example because I am speaking and somebody is not allowing me to speak. That is journalism.
No, fortunately, she is not from
that
TV.
That is journalism. What can I do now? That
Okay,
is
speak,
not
sir.
my
Sorry,
journalism. That
sorry,
is not my
speak,
journalism.
speak, sorry.
Because I have a point of view. You have a point of view. You believe that news and views should be mixed. That is your point of view. I appreciate that. But as a journalist, as a reader, you are lucky that I am not your reader. So that's it.
No, sir, Prabhu sir, the point that even Sahil made about the press conferences. The point is that there is a general public notion that this is nationalism, this is patriotism. And when any journalist decides to question any policy that has been put in that perspective by the policy makers, you are branded as who is anti-India. You are branded as anti-India. Don't you think that is becoming the public narrative, the general narrative, which is a dangerous trend?
You look at Twitter, I have got Twitter, I have the kind of abuses I get. It doesn't bother me. The question is, I am convinced that I am doing my good journalism. I am not in a popularity contest. I don't want to be popular amongst the losers. Modi meets me twice a week and he calls me for, now people are fronting so and close to Modi. I was very close to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, but it didn't prevent me when they lost election in Madhya Pradesh and whatever, I gave a headline, unfit to rule. That didn't prevent me. The question is, as she is saying that is her point, you mixing some story, okay, there is a moon is there, then you say, why moon has come, where is the sun? Moon is a full moon day, Purnamashi, you write the moon is there, you write this guy. Suddenly say, sun hota to acha hota. When sun comes, you write about sun. So you are mixing two these things to convey your, I would call, your personal opinion, which is should not mix. I am saying views should not be mixed with news.
Okay. So the point is we are mixing our personal opinions, our personal biases
Who
with
cares
the,
about
with the,
nationalism?
with the reportage and the reporting that we do.
No, to some extent it's true, but I mean it's not something. Again, I would say that it's not something which is new happening here. I mean it's been there since ages in as far as Indian journalism is seen. I mean we have seen that what happened during emergency. We have seen what I mean even then the journalists were criticized for. I mean it's Advani's famous words that you know when they were asked to bend, they were crawling. So. Even then, the government used to think that the way the journalists are reporting, they are reporting views, not news. They're twisting the stories, and that's why many journalists were chased and imprisoned and targeted and all that. It also happened during Mumbai riots, during Babri Masjid whole agitation, Babri Masjid agitation. It also happened during 2002 Gujarat riots. Whenever the journalists have taken a stand which is not comfortable to the government or the people in the ruling party, they have always been branded. And it's not only with the BJP. When we criticize Ashok Chavan, or we wrote against Ashok Chavan about the whole society, other society scam, the Congress guys were targeting us that time. When the Anna Hazare agitation was happening at Ramlila Maidan, I mean, this whole narrative of either you are my side or against me has been brought up because of that particular agitation. When if you criticize Anna Hazare, then the agitators used to say that okay, you are supporting corrupt, So basically, whatever you present, I mean, even if you do a story, a news story, not a view story, even if you do a news story which goes against someone, immediately it's been pointed out as okay, this
that
is
you have a motive behind the story.
There is a motive. These are your views, and that has been happening since long time. It's nothing new. I mean, when Sharad Pawar was criticized during Enron, the journalists were also criticized in Maharashtra that time. I mean, it's not something new. I mean, that time the journalists were tagged because of that. So it is nothing new. I mean, it's not something that I agree that your personal views sometimes overpower the news and all that stuff. It happens in media, but that does not mean that it never happened before. It used to happen. Some people choose to do it.
It's
Some
not
people
a new phenomenon.
not choose to do it. At the same time, I agree with the second point as well, that some people are behind the popularity contest, but that's not the whole media.
Exactly.
I mean, I would definitely like to point it out. That's not the whole media. Yes, there are some people who are chasing for more number of followers on the Twitter or the Facebook or the TRP gaining tactics. There are some anchors who deliberately get agitated. They act agitated. They throw people out of the studio. They act like that. So all these things happens. I'm not denying that at all. But that's not the whole media. The media has grown a lot. I mean, we can see that number of channels have increased, number of newspapers have increased, the new people have come in.
You are saying there are black sheep in every profession, but black
Exactly.
sheep are not the example of the profession.
No. I mean, they can be examples of the profession because they are big at this point of time, but that does not mean that the whole media is like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's an interesting point. You mentioned you mentioned Arnav in your keynote address. And Sahil also said it, ultimately the black sheep used to be black sheep and they used to be very small in number. They never used to overpower the entire profession or an entire medium. Today what has happened is the number ones are the ones who are setting the trend and they are trying to push and pull
just
all
to
the
add
other.
to it,
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot deny, I mean, okay, they are popular, I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, when Arnav was doing a show, a news hour show, I mean, it was the most popular watched show on Indian television. You cannot deny that. Now, it is wrong or right, it's a different thing. But yes, people used to watch it. People would like.
That is my point. The point is they are number one. And the issue is if they are number one, that means audience, viewers, readers like that content. Don't you think even our audience, because ultimately journalists are a product of the same society from where the audience is. Don't you think even our audience has changed over a period of time? From the 70s to the 90s to the 21st century, the perspective of the audience of looking towards media or expecting certain consumption from media has also changed.
No, no, you are shifting from what was media expression and whatever you are going. I said the celebrity status of media is also becoming much more important. You may be popular, TRP is just popular. My show was also popular, but this was TRP at that time. So I'm not going into that. I'm going into basic things. What is the role of the media? Is my role is to influence public opinion, or is my role is to give the news and let the public decide? As a conservative journalist, my role is to give, if I want to give certain point of view, how should people who want to criticize? Why should I want to criticize? If I am a panelist, I must say my point of view. When I am anchoring or I am reporting, I must be neutral. Then at that time, you collect various voices. Because when we were in India, we were told, okay, you have done a story, you find out a scandal, then you must go to the same person, ask him what is your point of view. Because every story has a planter. We are looking for planters. Because stories come from planters, but they should be factually correct. When you're talking Arnab Goswami show was popular, because it depends how you put it. Now the other person who's doing the show, he is becoming much more Arnab Goswami, better Arnab Goswami, or worse in economy than the earlier was. Because I heard him barefoot yesterday, out of 29 minutes, he spoke for 27 minutes, same question he is asking the one person, repeating and repeating and repeating.
See, you are watching, matlab, he is getting so much popularity.
No,
that is the whole point, sir.
That's the view you young journalists unfortunately take. I am looking at it the way.
I am not saying it's good.
Again,
thing,
you are
but
not allowing me to speak.
I am.
This is what problem is.
Sub question, sir. Sub question.
Question, I am not allowed to complete that. The Times of India, Arnab Goswami effect in Times of India journalists. Don't allow anybody to speak. We are the only authorized spokesperson of the world. So that question is different altogether. I am trying to say, as a journalist, I am looking at the one that I am coming here to give address issues before the challenges before the media. Unless I know the media what is happening, how would I give the lecture? I am looking at it as a journalist that how good we are or how bad we are as journalists. So I am watching it for them. Rakhi Shaman, somebody asked, why are you doing Rakhi Shaman? I ask the same question, why do you watch it?
Yeah.
Because you are watching, therefore I am doing it.
Yes.
I am catering to your needs. As he rightly pointed out, the nature of audiences are changing. But ultimately, that doesn't survive for longer. It survives from minute to minute. Arnab Goswami, TRPs were coming down during the last few months. Additional Times of India, popularity itself were coming down. So that is, if you look at it, go on doing it, it's a brand, something, sell something. Even my show was going down in the last 8 days. Because there has to be some kind of, when you're doing the show, like Shah Rukh Khan does, every film doesn't do well, but it's still the number one. Amitabh Bachchan, even at 72, I interviewed him, I talked about to him, I'm giving the example because you journalists must know. I interviewed him and asked him, कि आप तो बादशाह, वो बादशाह है, आप शहनशाह हैं. कहता जब मेरी उम्र में आएगा 73 में, तब पता लगेगा क्या है वो. He is petering out the age of 50 even now. He is not as popular. When Amitabh Bachchan was 50, he was the height of everything else. At the 73, he is earning much more than Shah Rukh Khan. So his sustainability of a brand lies in what you give to your audiences. Amitabh Bachchan gives different kind of entertainment. Because I watch TV channels, some kind of entertainment. Arnab Goswami show was more entertainment. Who is outshouting whom? I want to know which BJP fellow can out. Because why senior people are not coming on the show? Last 1 year, not even a single minister appeared there. Not even a single office bearer of the Congress party senior appeared there. Because in India, it's a frivolous show. Only second level people, even journalists, who were sacked by all organizations, they were the anchors there. They were the permanent opinion makers there. I would not call anchor, but jobless, unemployed journalists, they were the experts. Even now, most of the jobless journalists are anchors on TV. So, the question is, journalism, I am believing in journalism. Journalism is a very pious profession. We must not betray the confidence of our people by imposing our views on them.
Now,
we are imposing our view, that is a crime we are committing these days.
Okay. Full time to you now. The point is, you are trying to influence public opinion rather than plainly giving them news and facts.
Yeah, so two
Do you
things. First,
seriously
yeah.
believe
Yes,
that journalism should influence public opinion, or you believe that it should not influence, but we are doing it anyway?
Yes, no. So there are, we should not look it in black and white. There are what kind of journalism you are doing. There are different forms of journalism. We must understand that students are sitting inside, hearing what we are talking. So we should talk to them that they should understand what we are talking, the current, challenge before the journalism. Sir, I agree with you on 50% points. Like the credibility issue, yes, there is a serious credibility issue. Why? Because again we talked about accusation, false accusation, this nationalism layer, And you know, those number of things. Then as he said, image thing, corporate agenda we are pitching, political agenda, propaganda we are pitching, everything is then there and there. But different forms of journalism are there, still surviving.